Hi all, so today's video, or the plan, was to teach you how to draw a Christmas Mickey. Now, I pulled this one out of my box of tips, that I was showing you through on a couple of videos ago. And I thought, that'd be a really good one to do for Christmas. However, I learned this off a tutorial. Of that, I am 100% positive, because there is no damn way I drew that myself without help. I remember doing it. I don't remember who did the tutorial. I have spent a good hour searching through YouTube and absolutely nothing. And the two nail techs I thought it might have been, it wasn't. So I did film this video earlier, and what you ended up with, compared to my original first attempt at least 2 years back, was Mickey's drunk and questionable cousin. So you can guess what I did with that video after getting severely frustrated. I then went on to the next attempt, made a bunch of mess, was not very happy whatsoever. Oh, there were what I was going to do the next video with after I gave up with Mickey and his drunk cousins. However, I did just have another attempt, and okay, his eyes are a little shocking, but let me move Mickey's drunk cousin over here. But from the original to the others, he is definitely closer. So I am hoping with my next attempt to get it right. So I figured I would film that with you guys again and see how we go, but I really did not want to publish that one. I just wish I could figure out who this tutorial was from, because it's a really good Mickey. And I think this was maybe the second Disney character I ever drew. The first one was an ER, and it was Jesus, who's god awful. But I remember being super proud of this. I flashed this at everybody possible when I'd done this. I mean, okay, looking at him now, he's googly-eyed, and I can see a few bits where I can neaten up the lines, and I would say I have better skills and better brushes now, but these three beg to differ. So, if you want to bear with me, I am going to attempt to give you a tutorial on how to draw a good Mickey for Christmas, not a drunk Mickey. So stay tuned and we'll see what we come up with. Okay, so random thought while I was getting my nail tips out was, well, what if it sucks because I am trying to do it on a lot bigger nail tip than the original. This one, okay, it is bigger, but it's the closest I have to that size. I also wonder why I attempted nail art on such a tiny size in the first place, but who the hell knows. So I'm going to attempt to trace it off in the same dimensions. Well, not trace it off drive. And if it's still shocking, I will move to the bigger tip. I wanted to do it on a bigger tip so people could see it better. But I thought if I lined it up, I might at least be able to get myself some perspective. Also, if you are going to buff on your tips, no, not buff on your tips. If you are going to draw on your tips, you are best off buffing the shine off. It does make it easier for the pencil to stick. Okay, so if we maybe say, because it's longer, that's his hat and that's his fluff. Can you see that? Do you need me to zoom you in a little bit? I'll hold it up to the camera afterwards so you can get a better view. And then I've obviously gone for his center line. So if we say that, oh, that just looks too big again. Okay. My lines most definitely look crooked again. Okay, new nail tip. I'll go back to the bigger one. So we'll buff our tip just with the smooth side of the buffer again. And I am currently sticking it with blue tack to one of my silicone tools. I have blue tack on the other side, so when I put it in the nail lamp, it doesn't roll over. Okay, so if we say we have hat and fluff here, I'm not sure if you can see those lines. So if we go, Mickey's kind of like a heart shape. Although that heart shape was way more heart shape than the other one. Guess who just woke up? Can you see those there? Right, and then his face kind of pops out for his cheeks. This is what I seem to be having the most issue with, is his poppy cheeks. But that's looking kind of similar. And I think I've brought that in too far. And if we say just below where it joins is his nose, which would mean here is a line for his eyes. And then his mouth is like that, with kind of like that. So this is what we have. And I will be back in 1 second. Okay, so I have got my Nail Mate Clear for Mickey's face, and I'm just going to paint his outline and fill his face in. I couldn't find my nudie polishes, and the ones I was using earlier for Mickey's Drunk Cousins were just too pasty. So this is the closest I could think, because it's kind of got that biscuity colour. Now I have sped up this video. Well, I've not sped up all the video. Most of it is not going to be sped up. It'll be me talking as I'm going. This particular section I have sped up because it was a 10-minute section of me attempting to paint Mickey's face. So I am voiceover in this part. But I just outline him, and I use the paint to change any bits that were wrong with the pencil. So widen bits that need widening, move lines that need moving. I have left the holes for the eyes, and I have left a slot for his nose. But because the mouth's just painted in a thin line, I've just painted over that entire section. Before I cure that as well, I am just going to paint his hat. Now, I'm not painting all the way down, but some of that is going to be covered by the white fluff and the black parts. So I've just put that into cure. And these are the paints I'm using. They're from a little Saviland Christmas set I got a year or two or more ago. I think these are the colours I originally used on Mickey. But they've got quite a nice thick texture, so they're going to stay where I put them. They're not going to run around the nail. And I have got Rocket Man just to do the little holly that's on Good Mickey's hat. Right, so this is cured. And what did I decide to do next? I was faffing quite a lot. I couldn't decide whether I was going to outline or do his white eyes. And in the end, I decided to do his black bits around his head. And I just flip it upside down so I can get a nice pointy line. And we do his outline around his head. I'm sorry about that. I do keep switching it out of camera. I take my camera setup up and down every time I do a video. Like, I take it off the table and move it when I've finished. So I never put it back in entirely the right place. So I don't always know where I'm supposed to be angling, or I forget that I'm actually recording. So you end up with bits like this. I do apologise. But yeah, we are just moving him because I realised that I've brought his point down and it is not in the middle of his eyes. So, although this is going to be like not quite as good Mickey, He still doesn't need to be crooked Mickey. And I just fill in his nose as well. It is easier, which I'm doing now, to go in with the dotting tool, because you can pick up just a nice little bead of black polish and fill that in right there. And then I apparently thought, why the hell not, and filled in his eyes. I do neaten them and shape them with a brush. I just clean my brush a bit because I've had the black on it. So I need to just clean that off and then go in to try and get the nice shape that I want. Now I do realise when lining the next bit that I didn't leave a big enough gap between his eyes and his nose for like the nose line. And I also realised I have brought his black in unevenly on each side. There's more on one side than there is the other, so it kind of looks like he's got mutton chops on one side. But I'm going in with my favourite D-liner brush, and I'll just show you this. So when I'm wanting a thin line, I kind of twist my brush in this action while dragging it back through the paint, because it loads the brush, but it also moves the bristles into a nice sharp point with just the tiniest bit of paint on, so you get the nice thin lines. And there we go. I am going to do Mickey's eyes. Here's his nose line. This is when I realised I think it needed a bigger gap. I also left the white of his eyes a little lumpy, which was making my lines look a little uneven because it wasn't flat like the rest of Mickey was. So I flip him upside down so I can pull the brush towards me, and I'm hoping that gives me straighter lines. And as you can see, it does. I get a nicer line pulling towards me upside down. It's that bloody curve that seems to give me the problem every time. So we have one good eye and one black eye. So I've just got a little cotton swab. I got these actually off Shein. I think they're for like eyelashes. They're teeny tiny, but they're great for cleanup around the cuticles, or just for messed up bits of art like this. I have just dipped that in my gel polish cleanser, and I am just wiping away the line, and then going in with a folded up lint wipe just to dry off any last minute residue. And then we will go back in for a second try. Now, if I remember rightly, I do repeat this eye about 4 or 5 times. I do not remember whether I show them all on camera, but there was definitely a lot of wiping out and redoing, because that first eye looks great and that second eye just no. And the problem was also not being able to leave it alone and making it bloody worse. And there we go again. I did debate cutting out the cock-ups like I did this morning. I just lost my temper and deleted the entire video. But I like to see the fact that qualified or unqualified, experienced or not experienced, people still make fuck-ups. And they still mess up. And it's an easy fix. You just wipe it off and go again. But sometimes it's nice to see. It makes you feel not so alone when things go wrong and others make it look so damn easy. I mean, heck, I am trying to recreate a set I've done my damn self a couple of years back. And I have spent from, I think I started about 11:30 this morning. And it is now pretty much, when I was doing this part, about 2:30, 3 o'clock. So I had spent, 3 hours repeatedly trying to paint Mickey that did not look drunk or mutated. Nail art is not easy. Some bits of it are, but what some people find easy, others really don't. And character drawing for me is a struggle. I have a very artistic, naturally talented daughter. She did not get that from me. The bits I'm good at are because I've worked at them. Right, I have gone in here with a very tiny point of a dotting tool and made Mickey look like he's high on drugs. Dude, I seriously owe Walt Disney a huge apology for what I have done to Mickey today. Now I am going in with a brush to try and neaten that up and to make less of a mess. But I am pretty sure I do end up rubbing this out and doing this again. At least I think I do. I seem to be making a big effort to fix it, so who knows. I'd just like his pupils to look, non-evil. And that's not really happening right now. And there we go, off it pops. No more creepy Mickey. I'm determined this is going to be a good Mickey, not a bad Mickey. I can have no more bad Mickeys today. I was getting so cheesed off. I'd have probably done better if I'd have left it and gone back to it another day. But I started it and I just wanted to get it done. Right, I'm going straight in with the brush this time. I am ignoring the dotting tool. And he looks better. I mean, I do think the eye on the right side of the screen is crooked anyway. But yeah, he looks better. I'm thinking, looking at it now, I might need to bring the black on his forehead down a little bit more. Not just the point in the middle, which also looks uneven, FYI, looking at it on the camera screen. Yeah. I think I've just put that into cure. Okay, so I've mixed a pink and I'm just going to do his tongue. I've sped this bit up again. Some bits of this are going to be sped up, as you'd have noticed by now, and some aren't. She's trying to save video time. What I've done is I've gone in with the dotting tool on the white and I'm just fluffing up his collar. Not his collar. Yeah, his hat collar, whatever you want to call it. And off camera, I filled in his mouth with the black. Now I'm just mixing two greens together just to do the little sprig of holly. And what I have done is I've done 2 lines out. And then I literally just drag little points out for the holly. Because it's so tiny, and that is honestly the easiest way I found to do it when it's itty bitty like that. Is just to drag some out into a point. I give that a quick flash cure. And then I add the berries. So this was the original set. And I used dotting tools to do the glitter Mickeys. So just a big circle and then his ears. So there is my original one. On some really tiny nails. I mean, my pointer finger's like an 8 or a 9. It's the smaller sizes on nail tip sets. So there's bigger Mickey. Funnily enough, the same eye is still a little wonky. But he's better than his drunken, questionable cousins. But yes. So these are the bad Mickeys. And the very, very questionable Mickey. That one's just creepy. But yeah. But have a go. I just wanted to do a Christmas Disney character, and I thought it'd be nice to try and give people a go at Mickey. So I went back in and finished this set. So I did some sugaring by making the white gel paint frost and then pulling it down into like icicles and just glittering it. So the original Mickey was not bad for a couple of years old artwork. I would like to say my skills have improved, but it goes to show if you don't practice, no, they do not improve, because look at all the bad Mickeys and the semi-good Mickey. So on this one, I just used a dotting tool as well on the new ones, and I sugared some white bits. But comparison, they're not bad. But if any of you would like to have a crack and can manage to get through my very long-winded tutorial full of mistakes, you deserve a medal and be my guest. I hope I've helped some of you, at least to attempt a Mickey, and to show you it isn't that hard. You will make mistakes along the way, but you will get there in the end. Or if you're way better than me, you will get there first try, in which case you seriously have a hand clap off me. But thank you all for watching. If you have enjoyed, please give me a like, subscribe, or share my video. I will have another one for you soon. I am doing a Thanksgiving video. I found some Thanksgiving decals. So even though we don't celebrate it over here, I thought it'd be nice to do for my watchers that live over there in the States. But thanks guys, hope you're all having a wonderful day, and check back in soon for some more videos. Bye.